it's not designed to. It cannot kill you. You cannot overdose on cannabis.
10 tons could fall on you.
And then you could die, right? But you know, we hope you don't stand under 10 tons of cannabis.
Hopefully not.
But seriously, as everyone said, as California goes, everyone will go. Well, I don't want everyone to go as California goes. I want everyone to go as America should at first. But now let's New York be a precedent. And, you know, we're going to get with Larry here very shortly because I want to hear what his views are. You know, obviously we have a lot of questions we have lined up that we have questions about because Helen and I, as everyone has known, have had the pleasure of traveling this country. We have lobbied in many states. We've fought everywhere from Colorado, from Florida to Oregon to Washington, you name it, we've been there and we've been involved. And this being our home state, us both being here, lived here 40-some plus years, you know, it's important to us. I see people that I know now every single day. I read the paper, and if it's not someone I went to school with, it's their child, or it's their grandchild. They're dying. Dying because of legal prescription drugs that our professional doctors can hand us. Now, mind you, it starts there. It only starts there. But Larry, we're going to give you the floor a little bit, and why don't you let us, you know.
Sure. I want you, if you're listening, to imagine someone who, a young lady, perhaps, teenager, I have a teenage daughter, maybe someone's, she's 18, 19, 17, something like that. She's athletic, she's smart, she's going to college, all good. Sounds great. She gets injured. Maybe she's a cheerleader, maybe she's playing volleyball, something like that. She injures herself. So she decides, wait a minute, I'm injured. What should I do now that I'm injured? She goes to the doctor, she gets helped, and the doctor prescribes opioids for her. She decides, you know what, I've seen my friends get addicted, maybe I should not do this. Why don't I instead try some cannabis? I'll try that instead. I'll manage my pain with that instead, and I'll get back in action. What she does that, she's starting to recover, as people do often, and all of a sudden now, one time she does it, and she actually winds up buying weed from an undercover cop. That happens, she's now arrested, she's now a felon. You get a phone call, and she calls someone who picks up. It's you, because that's your daughter, that's your niece, that's your friend, that's your mom, that's your insert thing here, right? All of a sudden, someone who was trying the right thing, the smart move. Cannabis was the smart move, and your savvy daughter did the smart thing, and now her life is ruined. Because if she lives in downstate, she's going to Rikers Island.
Absolutely.
She's going to Rikers Island. Now,
and she's not going to be just in there with just people that sold weed.
No. If she wasn't violent, she will be now.
Right.
That's for sure. If she did think humanity was awesome, that's going to go away because she's going to be in with the worst of humanity.
Right.
So now her life is ruined. And if she messes up and says, you know what, I don't have to worry about it. It's just marijuana. I can tell the cops everything. And then she does tell the cops everything. And now she's a convicted felon. Now she can't get a job. Now she's always different problems and issues. And everything happens because she did the smart thing. That should never happen. And sadly, it does. Marijuana is not a gateway drug. It is an exit drug.
Very good.
That's exactly the case. It is a way that people can get away from issues and concerns. That's what they can use it to make that happen. There's nothing wrong with marijuana at all. And the fact that people in this state actually go to jail for having a plant in their pocket is immoral and unethical.
Absolutely.
It should never happen. And not just that, I'll go one step further. There are people right now who are talking about decriminalizing marijuana. I agree with that. But I will go one step further. When I'm governor, I will begin pardoning people who were convicted of possession.
Absolutely.
They should never have had a crime. They should never be convicted of a crime ever.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And you listen, at the Human Solutions, it's our 501c3. We're the Solidarity Over Separation as our New York chapter. And truly, that is what we fight for most. Although we do fight for all human rights and all civil rights, our mantra truly is no one should be in jail for a plant.
Yes.
I mean, and two, he's made good points here. And the point being, too, that everybody has to understand is the person that might need to treat with cannabis doesn't have to smoke marijuana. They don't have to go buy bud to smoke marijuana. They don't even have to have THC involved in the process if it's not a necessity. Most pains caused by inflammatory problems, we can treat a child with CBDs, as he's saying, rather than, you know, shoving any chemical compound. It doesn't have to just be an opiate. Our body isn't made to filter that. So I applaud him for that. I mean, I truly do, especially
the change that we need.
But
Right.
it isn't just the individual, it's also farmers.
right.
There's a secondary piece to this too.
Oh,
It
absolutely.
isn't just the people who are actually using it. Why aren't the farmers in this state are struggling?
Mhm.
It is clear the average farmer in New York State is over 55.
Mhm.
Not that I mind farmers with 55. That's awesome, but I also like farmers who are 35 and
Mhm.
45
Right.
and 25. I would like farmers of every age.
Right.
That would be amazing. That's fantastic.
Fantastic. That's right.
So why in the world are we deciding that what we want to do is, let's let them have hemp if, cannabis if. No, we should regulate hemp and cannabis and marijuana like onions.
Absolutely. Fantastic.
So I think that will all be very doable when we start making health our motive for that rather than money.
Right. Right.
Yes.
Money is it. That's what's got to stop.
Right.
We can't. That cannot be our motivator
There's
for
money
making the
everywhere.
choices and the laws that we're making.
But hold on, but this is the issue. It's not just money, it's monopoly and cronyism.
Right.
Agree.
Right. And that's what our question
the
we have.
local farmer wants to make money too.
Mhm.
And I want that farmer or farmers to make money. I do. The majority of them will want to sell locally anyway, which is awesome. The majority of them will want to employ local people, which is awesome.
Mhm.
I like that. But not just that. If we start actually growing hemp and marijuana, we'll change new industries in New York on top of that. And more importantly, that's exciting and interesting. We might get young people to be involved in farming again.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And
So
that-
all these things begin to happen just from saying marijuana and hemp, onions.
And
Right.
Just by doing that.
Right. And hemp in
and
general.
cleaning up the earth in the process.
Hemp in
of
general,
all.
as he's saying, just think of all the local farmers that live around here, and plus we can give people a better alternative that's absolutely, first of all, cheaper, second of all, more cost efficient and energy efficient by using hemp products. We've got these huge concrete plastic. They could be selling their hemp cropped farms. Now remember, hemp is good, people, from root to stem.
right.
The whole plant is used for something. So like he's saying, the money is there. There's always money in the industry. The money is easily made, especially if we go back to times where we had to share a crop. We had to grow hemp. If you owned a certain amount of property, you grew hemp for the government. Part of your property or your property was donated to the government to grow their hemp. Well, obviously that all goes out the window, and I believe that. That's what another thing a thing that Helen and I were going to ask you about was privatization, because like you're saying, right now it's pretty much just big pharma run in some certain way, or state or entity run, and it doesn't give the simple person that wants to get involved in this the opportunity.
And this is the issue, which is why I'm saying I don't want to pass laws that legalize marijuana. I simply want to decriminalize marijuana. Because once we can legalize, here's what happens every single time. Oh, you can have if you have a hemp license or a marijuana license or a so-and-so license, which will have nothing to do with really matters in the area whatsoever. What does some bureaucrat in Albany know about farming hemp? They have no idea. None.
Exactly.
And they will just say, I think there should only be certain number of acres in any given town or county because some guy who lobbies me told me that.
Absolutely.
That's what will happen. And then that will change. Instead, let consumers decide. Let farmers decide. Right now, if you're a New York State farmer, you have basically three options. Option one, get a job because you can't afford to survive on your farm. So your farm has become your hobby. That's option one. So you get a job and you work off the farm. Option two, sell your farm to someone who has big farms, which is happening all over the place, right? So now make big industrialized farms. Three, sell your farm period and walk away. I don't like those three options.
Yeah,
I don't like
I
any
don't like any of them.
I don't like those. How about instead just let them go? This is the issue. Let them go. I'm not concerned. I don't want to focus on the idea. It's already happening right now in California and Colorado. The black market of marijuana still exists.
Of course,
It still exists because the taxation is so high
That's right.
and the rules and regulations are so high that people are actually still going to black market. But it's one step. People will tell you this. You'll hear this all the time, guys. Yeah, but all the homeless people now in Colorado. Here's why so many of them are homeless. Because all these people who have felony convictions and can't get jobs flock to Colorado when they go, oh, it's legal. Now I can come and get a job in an industry that I know I'm good at. I know this industry. I can go start my life over. But when they got there, the regulations were so high, it was impossible for them to actually get into the industry.
Right.
So now they're homeless.
Right.
But if we actually just opened it up, we would actually have people who are felons who could now have jobs, who right now can't have jobs, which is, again, I'm not about legalization. I'm about decriminalization.
Right, and
Just
that's a great point to hear, because when I hear legalization, I start hearing in my ear, because I've watched great states with beautiful medical policy be eradicated. Because why? Because the answer to it all at the end of it is if everybody over 21 can consume cannabis in any way, shape, or form they want, maybe have a small home grow of their own, why do we need a medical program if everybody could do it? Exactly. Well, let me explain to you why, and I hope he agrees, and then we'll get his input on it. My input as a patient, as a person that has survived and is now alive because of cannabis, I've had to pay for this out of my pocket or had people donate me. Compassionate growers across this nation have been so kind as to treat me. Okay, well, not everybody can have that affordability if you don't know the people. Okay, but so we have to make it so that if we have a program, it has to have a strong medical program. Why? Because how are we ever going to convince an insurance company to cover my prescription for cannabis like they will the guy down the road's prescription for opiates?
That's right.
So I don't know where you stand on that, where you are with that, and a lot of probably a lot of federal things with insurance. But
yeah, here's the problem. You just brought it up. It's the federal issue, right? It's virtually impossible to happen federally. It's virtually impossible. But the reality is, what will happen? It's already happening. If all of a sudden cannabis is decriminalized, it will become cheaper by default. But not just that. People who are growing will create their own groups on their own. They will create issues where everyone pays $50 a month, and when you need it, you get it. That kind of thing will happen. It's already happening in other states, right? You see it beginning to happen already. So you will have communal grows. You have people who go on YouTube who've got to grow their own cannabis. That will begin to happen anyway. And once it becomes mainstream, then it will become covered. Why? Because what politicians care about over anything else is their own personal power.
Absolutely.
And if the people start saying, everyone in my county is using it, we want it, all of a sudden people go, oh, just kidding. Chuck Schumer just became decriminalization all of a sudden.
Well, listen, everybody did once you mentioned it. Once you mentioned it, everybody said it.
As soon as I started saying it's a true story.
It is a true story.
I was writing on this issue, all of a sudden the active from Sex in the City, all of a sudden she's now in decriminalization. All of a sudden Schumer is. But no, I've been saying decriminalization.
Right. Well,
now everyone's saying that.
Again, now there's the difference in your motives. Your motives are pure.
Oh, I'm not pure, but good.
They're purer than theirs are.
Okay, purer. Okay, yes, I'm not pure. I wish I was pure. It'd be awesome if I was, but I'm not pure. Purer, I'm not. Yes.
But your motivation still involves the people and protecting and serving the people, not taking advantage of and saying, oh, well, the people want to hear this.
Hey, I want to hear. I don't want to follow. I don't want them
them
doing it because they're following your lead.
And that's what, and right. And
but I'll take it though.
That's key
to be forward, I'll take it. I'm happy that they're following me. I am. I'll take it. I'd rather they all jumped overboard at the same time.
Absolutely. But it speaks volumes.
I'll take it. Absolutely. So that's my concern about that. The federal issues do get in the way.
Right.
But hopefully, if we become popular, look, California's already said yes. If New York says yes, all we have is Florida and Texas, and the top 4 states have all said yes.
Right.
At that point, the federal has to just happen.
Right.
It has to fall.
Plus we're 30 plus DC now anyway. You know, we get 3 more states and we're over 60% in the union anyway, and they can't deny us at that point in time. But that still won't change anything, is what everybody has to understand. We have a misconception that if the whole planet just says, oh, okay, well, you know, 60% of the country wants legalized cannabis, fine. But there's still state law. There's still going to be federal law. There's going to be there's a difference, and that's why we worry. And like, I'm glad that he uses the term decriminalizes and rescheduling too. Rescheduling of cannabis is the most important issue that we have in the movement.
It's embarrassing that it's Schedule 1.
Yes.
And it's literally like
it's
like wow. It's embarrassing that it's Schedule 1. It's embarrassing.
If anybody doesn't know, a Schedule 1 drug means that a drug has zero medicinal value, is highly addictive, mind you, and it can kill you. It can kill you. Okay, it's like the worst of the worst.
Yes.
It is the worst of the worst drugs. So when you think of cannabis, they want you to think of heroin, methamphetamine. Now, mind you, cocaine is a Schedule 2. Okay, so even cocaine is better than marijuana in the eyes of our government.
We regulate marijuana worse than regulate rat poison.
Yes.
Rat poison. And what I would argue, clearly, it would be better to give someone marijuana than rat poison.
You think?
I'm just going to say that's probably true. I'm going to go on a limb and say that's true.
Without a medical background, I think
I'm going to say that. I am.
I truly get that. And she's heck with a medical background. If you said that, then people would finally listen to you for some reason. Now again, too, here's another thing we think of, Larry, and personally think of, and I know a lot of patients that I deal with on a daily basis think of this, especially because of privatization. Okay, we have HIPAA laws in place, and we have all these wonderful things where nobody can find out our medical issues, or we don't have to discuss them. We have to sign a form for anybody to find out. But at the same time, we have to wear a sign that we're medical marijuana patients. We have to pay for permission to treat with something.
Be documented.
And be documented. Okay, we as an organization, we as activists in this believe that that's inhuman, first of all. You don't have to wear a sign that says I use, I take insulin, we don't have to pay for permission to do that. We don't have to hold a card in order to be.
Not just that, I can't discriminate against you if you take insulin.
Absolutely.
But I can discriminate against you if you're on medical marijuana.
Well, we had, when we first came back to New York, I had taken Pete to a medical marijuana doctor here in New York. And they scheduled them on a Wednesday because that's when they schedule all their medical marijuana patients. Now, if you come on a Thursday or a Monday to see your doctor, you can't discuss cannabis.
Now, mind you, he was my PCP as well.
Yeah, so they kind of just herd them in like cattle on one day, so everybody knows what they're there for.
Mm-hmm. Now, I went in on a Tuesday
It's a Wednesday,
once.
so.
Yeah, I went in on a Tuesday once, literally with a kidney issue, and I started talking about cannabis, and he said, I can't talk to you about that.
I mean,
how
does that happen?
But this is my point I bring up often. When it comes to changing New York, I want to change the culture. It isn't just that you change a law or you change a rule or make an executive order. You have to change the culture. Part of that is literally being the marketer in chief, using the bully pulpit to tell people what you believe is right or wrong. And decriminalization is the key. Look, some people are never going to agree with ever using cannabis ever.
Right.
And that's okay. That's their choice. I'm totally okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
My only issue is, why are you forcing others to not do so?
Exactly.
Right, that's it. But if you don't want to use it, never. And to be clear, I'm probably the squarest guy in this room.
Mm-hmm.
I don't use any drugs except the only drug I use is caffeine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even drink alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But I'm okay with anyone doing whatever they want. It's not my business. How do I know this? It's a personal issue for me.
Right.
My father was a corrections officer and a cop and died of cancer. This is in the 70s.
Okay.
In the 70s, they didn't treat cancer very well at all. They cut you open or threw you on horrible chemotherapy.
Right.
So literally his police friends would take him into the cop car and give him marijuana they stole from people.
Wow.
Awesome.
They had confiscated marijuana from people that they had confiscated from, because it was against the law in the 70s, of course it still is now, and they would have him smoke in the police car.
Just so he could stop getting sick from the chemo.
Just so he could actually eat.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't eat, because his guts were so torn about it. He had gastrointestinal cancer. So they did that.
Well,
so,
thank God for them.
And not just that, my mother, I really, this affects my family, right? My father had that issue. My mother also had cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And, but before that, she was actually a victim of the drug war. She was on legal drugs, and then eventually became addicted to illegal drugs. She was a convicted felon. For the same issue. I saw her go through the drug war. And when I got my mom out of jail, I got her in the Marine Corps trying to help her out. She literally came outside and she had 2 plastic bags. That was all of her possessions. That was it. Everything she owned was 2 plastic bags. Mm-hmm. Yesterday, I was at an event at Haas University, and a guy says, Larry, you can't stop the drug war. You know, when people get arrested, that's the way that they learn. They change their life. And I said, that is true. Sometimes that does happen. I agree. Most of the time it doesn't, because our recidivism rate is about 70%.
Oh, yeah.
So most of the time it doesn't happen, but sometimes it does. But I have an idea. How about we find another way of someone finding that besides losing everything?
Right.
Losing everything is the way many people change, because there's no other option.
Mm-hmm.
How do we know that? We see it now in Portugal. We see it now in other countries where they let people come into our problems and give them other options. And people take other options. Mm-hmm. But not just that. When someone is addicted to something, whatever that thing is, opioids, etc., the first thing they do is they isolate themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And they only hang around people who are also doing that.
Absolutely.
So they do. So when they need family and friends most, we don't let them have it. Mm-hmm. But maybe if you had family and friends, you might say to yourself, oh my God, what am I doing to my family?
Right.
Maybe I should try to get help.
Right.
Am I making this up? No, the data's in. It's already happening in Portugal. Yeah. It's already happening. People are going to actual places where it's decriminalized. They're literally shooting up their opioids around people who are saying, do you need some help? Can we help you? What can we do to make things better? How's your son? How's your daughter? Where's your mom? Where people are actually having those aha moments and going, why am I shooting up now?
Right.
I need help. And not just that, you've been here 2, 3, 4 times when I've been in this situation. You actually care. Now, here's the most important thing. When people take opioid drugs, as a general rule, they're trying to escape. They're escaping something.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So how can you fill that gap? You fill the gap with something, some other high. Hopefully, an individual, a person who cares about you, someone who cares.
Right.
What you will hear me say all the time, and this isn't that people think I'm crazy when I say it. When you have any problem, medical, financial, addiction, any problem at all, whatever that thing is, mental, the first thing you need is not a program.
It's a person.
Is a person.
Yeah, that's right.
Someone who cares. That's the first thing. If you get someone who cares, you can then find the right program or the right treatment or the right answer. But the first step is not checking a box, but a person who cares. You find that, you can change your life. If we decriminalize, people can go to people who care about them, and we can find the right answer. And for many people who have opioid addiction, marijuana is the right answer.
It is.
Not for everybody. Some people use other things. Some people use the vaping industry for it. Some people need a 12-step program. Some people use religion. It doesn't matter. You got to find what you have to find
What's
to help
working
yourself.
for you.
We
Yes,
preach that.
what's
We preach
working.
that every day because
We do.
I don't down a 12-step program, but
Nope.
that could never been for me.
Yes, not everybody.
And,
It
right,
isn't.
and-
It isn't.
But we all have, like he's saying, that one thing, and that is support and stuff. But
Yes.
like he's saying, it's not with just peer, because you can't go from peer to peer to peer to peer to peer to peer to peer. You have to have someone that cares about you. And
Yes.
once you have that for one person, and it doesn't have to be any more than one. I'm alive and been saved by my wife that drug me from Florida, drove me to Oregon, made sure that I was taken care of and that I had what I needed. It's just one person. So now it's the same thing way for me. Listen, as an opiate addict, you'll always be an opiate addict. As a cocaine addict, you'll always, as an alcoholic, you'll
Being
always be.
active or not,
If you
is
allow
the thing.
yourself to fall back into the same thing. So we just have to find that thing that grabs a hold of us. And in treating, as he's saying, patients with cannabis to fight opiate addiction, yes, we keep patients high in the beginning. We have to. The patient is high. They want to be high on their heroin. But I'd rather have them high on weed that's not damaging them, not hurting them. It's got them in a place where they can. Controls their urge and their
It gets them
urges.
into a place
And
to allow their body to heal.
heal. And then they can listen too. Believe me,
Yes.
you get to listen and focus.
Yes.
You're not on a drug, nodding thing. You're awake, especially if we treat you with a sativa at first and knowing your strains of cannabis and the knowledge that has to come with that, people. Cannabis isn't just cannabis. There are
I looked
many
at
things.
Portugal, and you can find that immediately. You find within the first year about a 2/3 reduction in overdose.
Absolutely.
I mean, that in America, we have between 120 and 180 people die every day overdose here in the United States. More now than traffic accidents. Right now, more than cars. So that means you have at least 80 to 100 people who'll be alive today, every day, if we just decriminalize marijuana. It happens.
As well as statistically, we have 25% fewer people in states that have a viable medical program for cannabis,
Yes.
that people do not commit suicide. Rates
Absolutely.
go down by 25%. And the biggest part in that is, and the biggest crime again we have, which unfortunately he can't fight right now, but his governor will have say, is with our veterans.
Yes.
Our veterans suffer
Yes,
on
they
a
do.
daily basis.
Absolutely.
Post-traumatic
And shame on
stress
us for
disorder,
that.
for
Let's
not
all
being
hold
able to just
accountability.
allow them to treat. And if they do treat and are drug tested, are taken, their insurance is taken from them federally. Now, come on, these are huge things that people don't know or understand. But these people
We
risk
have
their lives
children
so
being
that everybody
taken from
can sit in this
parents
room
of
today
patients.
and make the decision.
Unacceptable.
So, yeah.
You can go to your doctor and get your opioid script every month and raise your children just fine. But the second you get that medical marijuana card, now you got CPS climbing up your back door? No.
I had an investigator here the other night telling me, he took a class and he was telling me that they're literally running out of Narcan.
Well,
What is your feeling on-
yeah,
what's
because
your
that was
feeling
one of
on
the
that?
things. What is
Those
Narcan
safe
a
injection
solution?
sites, Narcan
Are these
being
the
so readily
solutions that we
available.
want to concentrate on?
Narcan is not a solution
No.
at all.
No.
No, it's not a solution. Do I want people to carry it? Yeah, but I'd rather them not carry it around trying to find people who are, I'd rather us have it instead decriminalized so we can go to actual sites where you can actually test your drugs. Right? There are drug tests that are actually very cheap and expensive. Nonprofits would do it for free.
Right.
They'd happily have people there. and you could test your drugs right then and there to see if they're actually you're gonna OD or not. You could have Narcan available right there, and nonprofits do it for free. They would happily do it. There are a lot of organizations who would do it for free because once you get there, who else is there? Counselors, people who can help you, people who care. Doctors are there. You start bringing people into these safe places to inject, you will find people, less overdoses, and more people actively asking for help, less addicts, and people getting their life back on track. Here's the most important part. Before they only have 2 bags in their hands, before they burned all their bridges and have no more family and have no more friends and have no more job. The addict, if we look at that addict, and this is the craziest thing. As a general rule, if you're an addict and you get in real big trouble, you're going to lose your friends, you're going to lose your family, you're going to lose your job, you're going to lose your health, you're going to lose your good looks, you're going to lose everything that matters to you. And we think, you know what the right answer is? Prison. That's the right answer, prison. How cruel of a society are we for us to believe that is the answer? How about when you begin to lose and you're now seeing the loss in your life, you go someplace where there are other addicts around there, people who were addicts who are no longer using anymore, who will understand exactly what you're going through, who will get you completely. And everything and every excuse you come up with, they're like, I know, I was there, I had the same excuse. They're not going to hear me, but they'll hear someone who was there. They'll hear, and that person will be there, because we all know this. The most zealous are the converted. The people who help addicts the most are those who are addicts who Absolutely. They're the best at it, they're the most passionate, and they know all the signs.
Or the mother of someone that's lost.
Or the mother, absolutely, yes. Or someone close to them. Exactly right. Those people will be in those facilities. How do I know that? It's happening now. And when they're there, we will get addicts help before they lose everything. We will see things change. The other day, someone says, but Larry, how are you going to get drugs from coming across the border into New York State? You get people who, coming across the border from, New Jersey into New York. I said, I'm not. You can't. I have an idea. People get high in prison.
Probably more going easier.
Exactly. So how am I going to stop crossing a border? It's impossible. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the demand for the illegal drug, because I will have a safer legal drug. And if you end the demand, they'll stop coming across the border.
They don't have to. It'll be available right where they're at.
Bingo.
Exactly right.
Yes.
So going with that, and addicts and along lines like that, and the criminal system, what about CPS and taking children from parents' homes just because
the entire family court system is broken?
Kansas is really
it's a whole different. I could talk an hour on the horrors of the family court system. But the problem is there's money in taking kids. That's the problem. There is literally money in taking kids.
Those words. Just put money.
That has to end. And the problem is that's federal. Right? The money is actually federal. So there's money in taking children. The federal government actually has rules and regulations that makes sense for people to make money to take kids. That has to go away. The only way it goes away, though, here's the issue. This is off topic, but it's an idea.
Please go.
We have to stop being controlled by Washington and Albany. And how they control us is by federal funds or by state funds. We have to find ways to raise money in our local communities so that we don't have to say, oh, we can't function without those funds. When we start doing that better, we can then stop taking the money. And when we stop taking the money, we can actually sue the federal government and say, stop taking our tax money. We're not taking your tax money. So that's a whole different issue, but the concept is the same.
No, I'm glad you touched on it. I think that's a great idea.
The more we take that, there's an issue here in New York City, you may or may not know this, with DUI. DUI laws, and also in certain cases, marijuana laws, are dictated by the state, by the federal government. And the reason why is because they give us money on our for our highways. And if we don't follow those rules and regulations, we don't get that money.
You lose your fund.
That's correct. And the funding is somewhere around 4%, give or take, in that area. Or could be, some places more, some places less.
They love the dangle carrot.
They do. So if we find ways of raising money to replace that 4%, we can then say, to hell with you on drug laws, to hell with you on DUI laws. So that's an issue we have. We have to make sure we can find that money so that we can say, no, we don't care. Because right now, if you get, I think it's 4 DUIs, 3 DUIs in New York State, you lose your license in perpetuity. Forever. It is revoked. Here's the worst part. You're in the state will not give you a license because you're revoked in New York State. You may never drive the United States ever again, ever. These are people who have been clean for 5, 10, 15 years. And here's the worst part. It's retroactive. So you already got your license back. You're clean now. You got a family and friends. You can't drive anymore. Ever again, no matter what. Here's the worst part. It's not even a law. It was a mandate by our dear leader, King Andrew himself. He mandated the MD to do this. These are the types of things we have because we are a state of punishment. You smoke marijuana, lose your job. You smoke marijuana, lose your kids. You smoke marijuana, you're a bad person, go to jail, go to Rikers Island.
Well, we have to blame ourselves, and we say this on our show all the time. We have to blame ourselves for giving the government that power.
Right.
When they started understanding, forgetting that they are employees of mine, not rulers of me, and I make the decision, or one of the people making the decision, and whether they have their position or not. I mean, it's the same thing with your doctors. You have to take that approach. They work for you. They're there for you. Don't let them just impose something upon you. Be active, be proactive in what you're doing.
If you just had a good king, it'll be okay.
It would be, wouldn't it?
At about this point in time, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. Now, is it also good? Is it also another federal issue, or is it something we can take care of on the state when it comes to testing people for cannabis? Like you were saying, we can take opiates all day long if we walk in with a prescription. It don't matter how high we are, we can work. But, heaven forbid we're a cannabis patient, is that script just as viable is what I'm saying?
Yeah, for federal jobs, no.
Right, for federal jobs.
Yeah, we can't test the federal rate, it's not going to work. Federal jobs, just no, not going to work. The VA, which is also federal, which is a bad idea also, it's not going to work. It isn't going to work. And that's a sad thing. I'm sorry to because a lot of our vets, particularly those who suffer from PTSD, cannabis has been proven to really help. To really help. I mean, it's not enough. Cannabis doesn't solve it. But it absolutely helps them to get through what they have to go through to get over that PTSD. And again, the documentation is in, it's a fact, it helps. And many of them simply can't take it.
Right. Hey, listen, we have a beautiful state. We all know this, everybody. And we're everything from concrete to jungle here. You know what I mean? That's what I love about New York. That is the one thing that even when I'm gone, I always say, I can drive an hour and be in the mountains, an hour and be at the beach, and an hour and be in the city. Okay, so, we have all the best of everything here. And man, we watch, as he says, farms close all the time. And there's just even the road that we took the back way, and we always take the back way into Sugarloaf because it's such a pretty ride. And, but you see along the way, it's just like for sale, for sale, for sale. These industries alone could literally, the cannabis industry produces so much tax revenue that you have no idea. And I'm not just talking medical cannabis, where, look at Colorado and they're boasting numbers of like $90 million in tax revenue. That's a lot of money, okay? And we should be able to tap into that.
But I do worry about that. When people say that, then people say, I hear all the time, let's legalize marijuana and tax the hell out of it.
No.
I hear that, let's tax it and we'll fix the MTA. Well, let's tax it, let's fix this. I agree with you completely. I just worry about the feeling that comes across. Great, we'll tax the hell out of it. If we do the tax the hell out of it thing, if we do that, we won't lower any taxes, we won't cut any spending, and worse, we'll help the black market still exist anyway.
Right, but that's where I was going with. The only thing I was going to add to what I was going to say that you pretty much covered is that we don't have to get that at the cash register. We don't have, it doesn't have to be like alcohol and cigarettes where it's 60%. So a patient's trying to pay $1 for medicine and they're getting 30 cents worth of medicine because they're paying the state for the other, the other 2/3. And that's just I'm saying we can do it and it'll still generate millions and millions of dollars. And that's across the board. Because as Larry's saying, Larry's a big proponent, as we heard, and a lot of people don't separate that marijuana and the hemp industry and the industry. But it is the hemp industry in general is just a huge industry. Now, hemp in general cleans your soil too. It's the only plant on earth in 10 years can turn the soil right around. You plant it in an oil field.
Yeah, we could have fixed that oil spill.
Right. So trees, the amount, we can generate 3 crops of hemp in a year's time. They produce enough.
We don't have to tax hemp or marijuana indifferently. As I said, onions. Right. Onion growth generates tax revenue. Right. I don't know how much. I don't grow onions. But I know it does generate tax revenue. And you sell onions, which generates revenue.
And you can grow onions, but you still buy them.
Yeah, and you buy onions. So no worries. So if we just had more farmers who were growing good cash crops, we would make more tax revenue without having to raise the tax rate on any individual. So no individual pays any more taxes. You pay the same amount of taxes. but we still raise the actual revenue by letting people grow other things. So that's my key issue. I want to make sure we're not talking about, let's make 14 times the tax on marijuana. That isn't the right answer.
Yeah. Listen, when I was at my healthiest, Larry, and treating with cannabis, I lived in Oregon, and you know, Oregon's a freedom. The West is a freedom that if you have ever been there and then you leave it, you have or those that.
Go.
Hey everybody, Pete Yapel, CannaWeTalk 420. We're here today at the Farmers and Artisan Market in Washingtonville, New York. We're going to interview some of the local participants, people that are selling their wares. We're also going to get a great chance to have some people that are beekeepers, maple syrup, producing maple syrup and producing it locally here. Now also, we're going to be speaking to a local musician, a young guy that we spoke with. People making handcrafts, a young girl that's trying to put her way through culinary school. This is what it's all about, people, community. And let's start. Let's get ourselves started here. James and I will be remote, probably 20, 30 seconds. We'll get everybody for right now, but we do have a few of these people being invited back. We guests in our office, in our studio, especially one of the farmers who is really dear to me because he teaches and believes in sustainable farming. Okay guys, give us about 2 seconds, we'll get you your first person. Hi everybody. Again, we're back here in Washingtonville. And this is Christina, and she has a line of dog collars and such, and cat collars, pet collars. We're going to let her introduce her business and let you know a little bit about herself. Go ahead, Christina.
Hello, this is Ellie and Zoe Dog Collars, and this is my second farmer's market here at Washingtonville. I started making these collars for my dogs, Ellie and Zoe, and just kind of kept it going from there. They're cotton, machine washable, and I make them for all different occasions: Halloween, Christmas, birthdays, summer, so for every kind of occasion.
Awesome. And how can people get in touch with you if they wanted your product?
So I'm on Etsy, I'm on Facebook, so yeah.
Good. So look up, they would just search Ellie and Zoe's Dog Collars, correct?
Yep.
Awesome.
That's it.
Awesome. Christina, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, we'll be back.
Thanks.
Pete Yapel, CannaWeTalk. Back with the neighborhood again here in Washington. Here we have Julie. Julie's going to tell you a little bit about what she's got going, what she can offer you. And again, how to get in touch with her so that she can, so that you can get in touch with her and take some home, some beautiful, beautiful jewelry I'm looking at. Try not to buy any for Helen while I'm here, honestly. But Julie, go ahead. Tell us a little bit about your company.
Hi, I hand stamp personalized custom orders of sterling silver jewelry. I have necklaces and bracelets, rings and anklets, whatever you like. I do a lot of different styles, but I have, you can personalize them for any occasion, any gift that you have in mind. I'm coming up with the holidays now, so if you would like to find me, I am on threesatrondesigns.com and I'm also on Etsy.
Excellent, excellent. Julie, we thank you for your time, and we hope we can get, bring you at least a few customers. I mean, gosh, this stuff is beautiful, people. You have to see it in person. You really do. Okay, guys, on to the next one.
I'm leaving early today. So usually I'm always here till 2. Sure, yes. Yeah, we'll talk definitely. I'll raise the touch this week.
Pete Yapel, CannaWeTalk. I'm here with Al AHS Woodworking. Sorry, I don't want to mess up the name of his company. But Al's retired, took on woodworking. I want to tell you people, this is some beautiful stuff. I mean, heck, he's even recycled an old post. This was a post in the ground. He's made this beautiful, gorgeous bowl out. Why don't you let everybody know a little bit about your company and how they can find you and where they could, how they could get your wares?
Well, I really don't have a website yet, but I do have an email address, ashafer@optonline.net. I let the wood kind of predict how the project is going to turn out.
Well, that's good.
For example, this is a piece of cherry burl, lump on the side of a tree.
Right.
Like a steak.
Yeah, knots. Yeah.
And the grain is just all over the place. And,
well, you do have a magic eye for looking for that. I have to tell you that. Like, especially this one here was really intriguing me. The definite patterns that are going on.
there's actually two pieces of wood glued together, and I turned it so one would complement to the other. And it's got a piece of the bark still on the piece of wood. And I didn't know how it was going to turn out until I started turning.
That's beautiful, man. That's absolutely beautiful.
I've taken like several pieces of wood, cherry and black walnut, and glued them together, and gives kind of a nice effect, different style.
Like a layered effect. All right. Well, that's great, Al. Listen, AHS Woodworking, everyone. That's A. Schaefer, SCHAFFER @optline.net. Reach out to him, man. It's really some beautiful stuff. Al, thank you for your time.
You want to hand the table?
Hey everybody, again, CannaWeTalk. We're here again in Washingtonville, and we got Sam here. Now Sam's got a startup business. She doesn't even have a name for it at this point in time because she's really just trying to begin. So once again, let's support our local people, and we're gonna let Sam tell you a little bit about what she has here. I'm gonna tell you something, guys. This stuff is really beautiful.
So I have some different jewelry options today. I have some origami owls, some snappets, a couple of handmade pieces I'm still working on putting some more together, and I make some fairy lights.
Sure, bring it.
I wish I had electricity here so you could see how beautiful these
He
are.
can zoom right up to it. Oh, she wants to show you what the effect is. Oh, all right.
So you can see they have a little light in the back they plug in. Great for night lights for little kids.
And they're cute. They're little mason jars with lights in the back, guys. These are really, really cute.
All the pink ones are fairies, the blue ones dragon. I have more coming out. Take a little bit of time to create.
Okay, excellent. Now, do you have an email address or any way anybody can get in touch with you if they wanted to purchase something?
I'm Samantha Carey on Facebook. I'm going to be creating a Facebook page for this, for my business soon.
Okay, excellent. So everybody, hey, listen, keep your eye out. Let's look out. And when you're at these local markets and people are setting up these startup things, please support them. Listen, GE didn't wake up one day and just boom, everything they did. They started at the ground and worked. She's trying to do the same thing. So let's support her and keep everything local.
Thank you.
There's like a hole. I don't get involved in that, I guess, but it's easier. They stick two together.
Three, two, one.
Hey everybody, Pete Yable, CannaWeTalk. I'm standing here with Sam from Halal Pastures. As you can see, beautiful produce, beautiful stuff laying around here. We're gonna let Sam tell you a little bit about halal. Go ahead, Sam.
We're a local farm here right on Twin Arch Road. Second year farming. We love what we do. All our stuff is organic and doesn't have any chemicals. It's very healthy for you, very healthy for the soil. We have different varieties of produce, grass-fed, organic meat, lambs, chickens, goats, what have you. Stop by and say hello.
Excellent. And where are you located? How are they going to get in touch with you?
180 Twin Arch Road, Rock Tavern, New York, or you can email us at info@halalpastures.com.
Excellent. Support your local farmers, everybody. That's the most important thing we can do. Helps the earth, helps the body. Peace.
Thank you, guys.
So, I'll tell you what, let me call, maybe we'll go to the butcher's and we're going to go to the butcher's and then probably 5 o'clock, I'll try
drive, and I'll be leaving work because I'll be headed towards you guys. I just don't know if the baby's gonna make it through the wilderness.
Pan over him and get my Hi, Pete Yable, CannaWeTalk. Again, man, farming. We know how important it is in sustainable farming. Absolutely, something that we strive for. You know, after living out in Oregon organically and around these farms all the time, you do not understand the importance of them. We have Jason here from Wagon Wheel Farms, him and his wife. We're going to let Jason tell you just a little bit about his farm and what's going on. We will, though, too, have Jason on as an actual guest on our show as well, because believe me, people, this is, as you know, this is what we stand for and what we strive for every day. Go ahead, Jason.
We have a business model of sustainability, which means that we use a multifaceted approach in everything we do, from soil conservation to water conservation to pest management, and to the different types of products that we raise and grow ourselves locally. We pride ourselves on locally raised products, and it's important to us that people know where the things that they buy are coming from.
Absolutely. And in a world of GMO, this is the battle against it, everyone. We have to understand that the foods that we've been eating have been poisoning us. You know, even the good foods that we hear about. Cucumbers are not this big, okay? We have to understand that. Things done right will only help you and your health. It's going to help this earth. We can't live without this earth. And I thank people like him. Excellent, Jason. Thank you for your time. And like I said, we'll definitely have a role for you on our show, and we can get a little bit more in depth into what you guys do. Promote you just a little bit.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Thank you. Pete Yape from CannaWeTalk again here in Washingtonville, and we are having such a good time here today. We got Olivia, Fiona, and Aaron from the Flynn Family Farm. I didn't family farm us today. So from the Flynn Family Farm. And we're going to let Aaron tell you a little bit about their business, how you can get in touch with them. But I'm telling you, we're having a blast here today. Right, Olivia?
So we are a backyard farm. We're right in Washingtonville. We have a dream of owning our own farm one day, but we figured we would just get started right in our backyard. So we have chickens. We'll have eggs coming. The chickens are not laying eggs yet. And we have a big vegetable garden, so we'll have those. And in the meantime, we have baked goods. So Fiona's allergic to dairy, so we always have dairy-free baked goods. Excellent. Chocolate chip cookies, Monster, our peanut butter, coconut, chocolate chip, oatmeal.
These ones right here?
Yes,
that's what they are?
Taste.
I'll be paying for
taste test. And the Rice Krispie treats are also gluten-free. And then every Sunday morning I bake fresh, organic bread.
I will be taking a loaf home to you, Helen, don't worry.
It's delicious. So yeah, that's what we have for now. We have flowers, you know, things are getting started. So as years go by, we'll have much more. Books. The cookbooks are not free.
Free flowers.
The cookbooks are $10. They're all local artists did the artwork, and local chefs and farmers contributed all the recipes.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah, so we have those.
Excellent. Again, Aaron, Fiona, and Olivia from the Flynn Family Farm.
So come out and see us.
Come out and support them, man. Let's listen. Everybody has a dream. That's what America's about, right? Making our dreams come true.
Yep.
Let's help make theirs be that way.
Very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Just got that cookbook.
I got a different bag. Why? Another one? A different one. Because you
That was
I
good, man.
did not.
Thank you. They're $2 for $1. Take that.
Yeah, I'll give one to Jimmy.
All right, good.
There, oh, I gotta get bread. Hey everybody, Pete Yaple again, CannaWeTalk. Here at Washingtonville again at the Farmers Market. Anthony Calabrese, excellent young guitarist. Been playing here all day. We've been enjoying his music. We're going to have him play a little bit, and we're going to have him on the show one day and have him close out the show. As you know, we would close with local talent. We're going to let Anthony tell you a little bit about himself, and then we're going to let him play a little bit for you. Hi, Anthony. Why don't you let everybody know a little bit about you?
All right. Hi, I'm Anthony. I'm 17, playing guitar for a year or so, and it's a lot of fun. I take lessons and kind of work at the New York School of Music in Walden, up in Walden. They do great work, great instructors, great atmosphere, great people. Yeah, I write some of my own stuff, you know, and it's fun to do, and you end up working with good people.
Excellent. Why don't you take us away with a little bit of music, Ed?
All right. Thank you.
Hey everybody, Pete Gable again, CannaWeTalk. Heather from Handit. Let me tell you something, people, this is great to stumble by. Heather will explain to you a bit about her material, but she spins her own yarn and all, folks. This is true sustainability and health. I love it. Go ahead, tell everybody a little bit about you.
One of the nice things about spinning yarn is that you know exactly what chemicals are in it. So in commercial yarns and in clothing that we buy, you're never sure exactly how the textiles have been treated. But with hand spun, it goes straight from the sheep's back onto your back through the process of first spinning the yarn and then either knitting or weaving to make the cloth. And there are a number of other sustainable aspects that I have in my business, including making things from that are renewable, reusable, and 100% natural. Jute, cotton, wool, which is a wonderful, wonderful substance. It's just one of the best fibers in the world for hot weather and cold.
Excellent, excellent. Heather, how could they get in touch with you, and where would they be able to find your wares?
I sell here at the Washingtonville Farmers Market on Sundays. I also run the Blooming Hill Farm Artisans Market, which we do 3 times a year, usually April, September, and December.
Excellent, excellent. Again, Heather, hand knits, beautiful work, people. This is all hand-done stuff, and again, sustainability. Knows what's in her product, spins her own stuff. How could you get a better product? Come on out here to Washingtonville. Everything's here until October. Don't forget, people, on the weekends. And these people are set up. They always have their stuff reasonable prices for what they do. Believe me, it's a lot of hard work. Pete Gable, CannaWeTalk. I almost said Hudson Valley Craft Works. Because that's who I'm standing here with. And Jessica. Jessica's going to tell you a little bit about her company, folks. And it's some beautiful stuff. I love candles anyway, and I'm glad Helen's in here right now.
Well, thank you. I make all-natural soy candles with essential oil or skin-grade fragrance. So there's no chemicals or dyes or anything like that. So it's all very safe to burn. I got into that because I'm a massage therapist, so I really enjoy the holistic end of it. And I make all kinds of different crafts and home decor, and I just really enjoy what I do. So bringing it here to Washingtonville today in the Farmers and Artisans Market, and we're here every Sunday 10 to 2.
Excellent, excellent. Stop on out, everybody. It's really some beautiful stuff. Peace. CannaWeTalk again, and Jessica here again at the Hudson Valley Hudson Valley Craft Works. I'll get it right before the night's over, I promise. We promise we're going to shut every show down with local talent. And tonight, we got some of the best local talent I could ever imagine having here. My beautiful wife, Helen. If you've never heard Helen sing, my gosh, you guys are in for an incredible treat. She's got a beautiful, soft, but yet raspy and sultry voice. It's sexy as can be, but that I keep for myself. She's going to be doing a great tune tonight by Anne Murray, written in 1983. It's pretty relevant to times now as it was then. It's a song I can't even be around because I start crying. But we're going to give it away to Helen. Helen singing Anne Murray's hit, A Little Good News Today.
Rolled out this morning, the kids had the morning news show on. Brian Gumble was talking about the fighting in Lebanon. Some senator was talking about the bad economy. It's gonna get worse, you see. We need a change in policy. There's a local paper rolled up in a rubber band. One more sad story's one more than I can stand. Just once, how I'd like to see the headlines say, nothing much to print today. Can't find nothing bad to say. Because nobody robbed a liquor store on the lower part of town. Nobody OD'd, nobody burned a single building down. Nobody fired a shot in anger, nobody had to die in vain. We sure could use a little good news today. This evening, I bet that the news will be the same. Somebody takes a hostage, somebody steals a plane. How I wanna hear the anchor man talk about the county fair and how we cleaned up the air, how everyone learned to care. Oh, tell me, nobody was assassinated in the whole third world today. And in the streets of Ireland, all the children had to do was pray. And everybody loves everybody in their good old USA. We sure could use a little